Hello D&D people of the internet, it's me Max from Maxus Miniature, back with another video, and in today's video we're discussing spellcasting classes in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Now a spellcaster is a being who has learned how to take the fabric of reality and remold it into their vision of what reality should look like. Now this can be anything from making a poof smoke appear or blasting a bit of fire, all the way to ridiculously powerful things like reversing death or tearing a hole in reality and then balloon animaling that into a sword and beating someone over the head with it. Spellcasting classes can do some really cool things. The one downside is that their AC is terrible and their HP is even worse. This sole reason is the only reason why they are not dominating the scene and why fighters and barbarians still have some viability, because they can actually take a hit. So, that's the basic of what a spellcaster is, but what are the 4 different types of spellcasters? Well, let's get into that. Sup nerds, I'm the Sorcerer, and I am the coolest mage in town. Now, what's a sorcerer, you may be asking? Well, sorcerers are mages who don't have to do any of the work. We don't have to study for our entire lives to use magic. We don't have to work for an evil master to use our magic. We don't have to do anything. We're just given it. I myself was lucky enough to be the son of a polymorph dragon and a human, and because of that, I have lightning dragon powers now. So, let's get into the nitty-gritty details of the sorcerer. The sorcerer has a d6 hit die, which sounds pathetic, and it is pathetic. It's the die that you use in Monopoly and almost any other board game. We have almost no HP, but to make up for that, we have access to world-ending magic. Yeah. Our main ability is meta magic. For each level, once we reach 2nd, we got sorcery points, a number of points equal to our level. With sorcery points, we can turn them into spell slots in a pinch, and then take those spell slots and turn them into sorcery points in a pinch. But what do sorcery points do? Well, sorcery points fuel meta magic. Meta magic means that we can warp our spells. We can make them reroll damage if we roll badly. We can make it so that our friends are more likely to succeed on AoE checks. All sorts of cool stuff. Our capstone, a little underwhelming. On a short rest, we regain 4 sorcery points. Little underwhelming compared to other abilities, like the barbarian. Then we got our subclasses. Draconic Bloodline. I'm one myself. It means that you were either blessed with your draconic powers or one of your parents is a dragon. Wild magic means you were confronted with some sort of chaotic magical energy. Maybe you were tortured by a demon lord for a couple of years. Maybe you were shot with a beam of high concentrated far realms energy. Who knows? Either way, whenever you go to cast a spell on someone, you explode with magical energy, dude. Next up, we got the Storm Sorcerer. Storm Sorcerers were blessed by primordials, powerful elemental beings, and now they can shoot lightning. Divine Souls are the clerics of the sorcerers, and I don't mean that as a figure of speech, just saying they're good at healing, because they literally get access to the entire cleric spell list. Little bananas when you can do something like Healing Word, except twin it and hit 2 different people at once. Shadows. You're super spooky and you got a pet dog. Aberrant Mind. You are now an eldritch horror. Clockwork Soul. You are now blessed with the powers of boring lawman himself, and now you have clock powers. So those are the sorcerers. See you guys later. My charisma lets me pick up hot chicks, so I gotta go pick some up. Hello there. I am William, and I am a warlock. I was once but a humble archaeologist, but one day, while digging, we stumbled upon a room that was nearly completely intact. something was strange. You see, almost all the rooms in this archaeology dig were ruined. This was near perfect. Upon entering the room, I could sense there was something amiss. Some otherworldly presence sat there with us. And written on the walls, in a space that wasn't even a foot-by-foot area, were a series of ancient writings. For the next 20 years of my life, I would spend walking the world, searching for people who could help me decode this strange ancient writing. And after 20 years of searching, I would find the answer. I would find myself at a small town next to a large swamp. People of the town claimed that they didn't know what the writing was, but once I showed it to them. But they were lying. I knew they were lying. And at night while I was sleeping in, I heard chanting. I stealthily left my room and walked to the edge of town, seeing them walking off into the forest, cloaked, torches in hands. One of them at the center, dressed in an ornate robe, was holding a child. A wee babe, probably only a couple months old, taking them into the forest to sacrifice. I followed. Deep within the jungle-like swamps, I saw it. A being of immense power. I stood there in awe at his magnificence, but I was too late to save the child. Standing there in front of him, he spoke to me, but not in words, not in emotions, in something beyond that. Saw my plight and agreed to help me. I came looking for strength. He could offer it. Warlocks, unlike other casters, get their power from servitude. Similar to clerics, actually. They sell their soul to a higher power. As a warlock, you have a D8 hit die. The reason that you don't have a D6 like your other main casting classes is because, well, your magic is not as powerful. You see, your amount of spell slots is pathetic. The trade-off is they're always at their highest level. Now, because of that, you do get some armor proficiencies, extra weapon proficiencies that your fellow casters don't get, and a better hit die. Your main ability is Eldritch Invocations. To make up for the fact that you don't have normal magic, you have special abilities that you can gain at different levels, called Invocations, which allow you to do things like summon shadowy armor to protect you, or you can have a magic weapon. And then you can take that magic weapon and improve that magic weapon, and make that an even more powerful magic weapon. There's a dozen different things you can do with invocations. I would recommend you look into them yourself. Then your capstone ability is Eldritch Master. A nice ability because by taking 1 minute to just sit, meditate, and talk telepathically to your master wherever they may be, and, I don't know, giving them compliments, telling them they look great today even though you can't see what they currently look like, then you get to regain all your spell slots, which is very useful because, as I mentioned, you have a pathetic amount of them. Your subclasses are as follows. The Archfey, you sold your soul to a fairy. You made a bad choice. The Fiend, you sold your soul to Satan or to insane Satan. In other words, a demon or a devil. Yeah, they're the most often made pact and are the most basic form of Warlock. And that still says Sorcerer. Well, another form is the Great Old One. Great Old Ones are those who are beings beyond our comprehensions of space and time. Great Old Ones, I don't even know why they're here in Dungeons & Dragons, and yet they are. They just are. They're immensely powerful beings beyond space and time, and as such, they can give you powers. The Undying is an undead monster. Think a powerful vampire, a death tyrant, or a mummy lord, or a lich. There you go. Celestials are gods or angels. You get healing powers. Hexblades are dark, evil, sinister beings who inhabit weapons. Fathomless is any kind of water being, such as a powerful ancient primordial water elemental, a coven of sea hags, or one of the gods that the Kuatoa create. And then the genie. You sell your soul to one of the 4 different types of genies. There are 4 different types of genies, being spiritual people that live in the elemental planes, one for each type of element. You choose which genie you sold your soul to, and you get special abilities depending on it. The Warlock is probably the easiest main caster to understand, and if I had to recommend a caster to a new player, I'd recommend the Warlock. Hi, I'm Wesley. I'm a wizard. I've never been really good at making friends. Yeah, I can barely take a punch, and really all I'm good at is being super smart. So yeah. As a wizard, just like sorcerers, I only have a d6 hit die, but sorcerers can actually handle themselves in a social encounter. I can't really at all. This is my spell book. Please don't touch it, it's mine. Yeah. Our main abilities is spellcasting. Just like the fighter, we're so basic that we don't really have an ability that's signature to ourselves that defines our class. So we just cast lots of spells and have a massive spell list, the biggest of all. Our capstone is signature spells, where at level 20 we could choose 2 third-level spells and cast them for free. Then we got subclasses. Our subclasses are Abjuration, all about shields and armor and stuff, magical shields, armor. Conjuration is summoning things and making portals. Divination is seeing the future. Enchantment is buffing our friends, debuffing our enemies and such. Evocation is controlling the powers of fire, electricity, ice, and the earth, all manners of elements and the like. Illusion is tricking people into thinking they see things. Necromancy is life and death and rising dead bodies as minions. That one always scared me. Transmutation is warping matter into all manners of different things. Shape-shifting, that sort of thing. Blade singers are elves only, and pretty much they can use swords. I can't use swords. I tried once and I could never figure it out. The only melee weapon I carry on me is the staff, but I had to sell that a couple days ago because I was out of gold and I needed ink for my spellbook. And then War Magic focuses on a mixture of Abjuration and Evocation to blast things while making shields, and Conjury, or yes, I think that's Conjury. Pretty much you control time. Gravitium, Graviturgy, I think. Graviturgy, you can control gravity. An Order of Scribes lets you make spells, scrolls, and such. Yeah, oh no, I'm gonna be late for my class. Bye. Hello, young one. I am the All-Seer, and I am a mystic. Mystics, unlike other mages, don't study arcane powers or divine abilities, or even nature. We study psionics. Psionics are a form of magic, where instead of tapping into the weave or the great expanse of our master's powers. No, 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 no. We tap into our minds. Mystics are by far one of the most powerful classes, and that's why they are still an unofficial class, not yet being printed in an actual book. Our hit die is a D8. That may not sound like a lot, but it balances out with our insane abilities. Actually, it would probably be better that it's a D6. Our main ability is psi points. Psi points are bits of magical energy that we have stored within ourselves that allow us to access what are things that are known as psionic disciplines, which are different magical powers. We have a certain amount of psi points, and we can put as many psi points as we wish into one ability at a time to make ourselves more powerful. Psionic body is our capstone. Psionic body makes it so that we first no longer age. Second, are resistant to bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing damage. Third, are immune to disease, poison damage, and the poison effect. And finally, whenever we die, we roll a d20. If we get a 10 or a higher number, then we dissipate. Just disappear. Then, 1 day later, 1 d3 days later, we reappear randomly at a place of our choice, that is, with the effects of a full long rest. There are pardon me. There are 6 different subclasses of the Mystic. The Avatar is a support-based class that bolsters their enemies and which bolsters their friends with their psionic powers. The Awakened is a mystic who took the powers of psionics and studied them even further, expanding their mind beyond what any normal being should be able to do. The Immortal is a mystic who studies physical properties and alters their body to their will. The Nomad is a mystic who travels nature and studies it for their own purposes. The Soul Knife is a mystic who studies weapons and armor. And the Wu Zhen is a mystic who studies the 4 elements and learns to master them through their psionic capabilities. Overall, the mystic, depending on what you choose subclass-wise, along with what disciplines you select, can be whatever you need it to be. Either a frontline fighter, or a back supporter, or a spell slinger. One last word of advice. It is exceedingly powerful and is currently not official. So if you are playing an Adventurers League, you cannot use it. If you are playing with friends, you will need to talk to your DM. So, that was my guide to every single spellcasting class in Dungeons & Dragons. If you somehow enjoyed this video of me butchering every single stereotype about the spellcasting classes, then consider leaving a like and subscribing. I don't know, maybe comment about what you want to see in the future so that I can improve this channel and fine-tune it to what the viewers expect. That's my dog in the background. He's just chilling. So, as always, don't worry, in the future I will be making videos going in-depth on every single specific class. So there will be a video talking about what the Sorcerer can do, and there will be a video talking about what the Wizard can do, and I'll go in-depth into their subclasses and every single ability they gain at every single level. But, until then, this has been Max from Max's Miniature. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.